So. All right. Really don't have any injuries to throw at you here. McCole will practice today, and we'll just see how he does. I look forward to the challenge of playing Denver. Defensively, they're number one in passing defense, and a couple other categories in the pass game and defensive area. They're top notch, and then offensively, they've got good players. They got great skill players and a good offensive line. So we've got to have a good week of practice, and special teams they're solid there too. So, and then with the coaching changes, I mentioned to the team that you're never quite sure what you're going to see. So you got to be kind of ready for anything and everything, and make sure you bring the energy in that you need to take care of business. We're glad we're here at Arrowhead. Look forward to seeing all our fans out there. So that time's yours.
When you say being ready for anything, like what do you tell your players? What do you coach them for?
You hit the things the primary things that they've been doing, but you got to keep your eyes open. You just have to be aware of any adjustments. There might be a couple more sideline adjustments you have to make, or in-game adjustments that a guy might have to put on. So we'll see how it goes, but that's where we're at. So.
Would you ever run across McCole Hardman? If my math is correct, you have exactly 7 more days within the 21-day window. What do you need to see out of him to make that determination that he will be ready?
Yeah. So as the week went on, he got a bit tired and sore, and I think that was good. He worked his way through what he needed to get through, and now it's a matter of getting him in a game. And so I presume, unless there's a setback, I presume he'll be there. But that's where we're at right now.
Have you ever run across Jerry Roseberg and ever had a chance to meet him and talk to him?
I have. He actually worked for John Harbaugh for a number of years. One of the top special teams coaches in the NFL, and a good football coach, period. But he was a tremendous special teams coach. Good guy.
Andy, Clyde, is his clock anywhere close to being started here?
Yeah, he's not ready yet. I mean, he's not. He's close, but not ready. High ankle sprains, those are tough deals, man, on running back. So he's working through everything, and he's busting his tail. It's just not quite there yet.
What are the realistic options that maybe have Clyde available for the postseason, and maybe even Jody Fortson included in that group?
I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance that happens. I mean, time will tell. See how things go here. Right now, neither one, ready to go. So.
India, I saw a stat recently that you guys are leading the league in batted balls at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
How much is that practiced and worked on, or how much of that is just kind of understanding the down and distance situation and obviously being prepared for that if you don't get home?
Yeah, Joe covers that. If you're not able to quite get to the quarterback, get your hands up, at least one, and try to bat the ball down. And so that's part of his repertoire of things that he does in there with them. But it's been very successful. And I know before George kind of went on this sack thing that he's going, he had a few batted balls in there, which were big for us. And Carlos likewise. I mean,
Yeah, but the follow up and say Carlos is known for that. How much does his addition and his play style might just permeate to the rest of the guys, especially like George?
Yeah, sure. Well, they know the history of him doing it. I know the history of him doing it. He batted a few of ours down. I'm glad he's on our side, and so they know. And Carlos is a smart guy, talks to everybody, so I'm sure he's helped in that area.
Your roster is kind of a add-on question here. Your roster's turned over a lot since Patrick became the starter. They'll probably turn over again a bunch more times while he's here. How do you approach that challenge, sort of knowing the reality is things are going to change and evolve while still trying to maintain an identity and still trying to accentuate what Patrick does?
Sure. I think you go back to Brett and the people that he brings in. He knows the offense. He grew up in the profession with this offense, in the NFL with this offense. So he has a pretty good feel of what needs to be fitted in there, and how guys, even though they might not have been in the scheme, but they have certain qualities there that would work for us. So, and then, Pat's ability to kind of welcome everybody in. Kelsey welcomes everybody in. Those are now Patrick's become one of the old vets, but Kelsey's been the oldest vet, and that's a comfortable thing for new guys coming in here, that they're not just going to be pushed aside, but we're going to take your strengths and let's go, and then you can learn the other stuff as we go along.
Is Patrick's, he's very talented in a lot of different ways. Does that make it a little bit easier to target guys? It kind of seems like whatever their strength is, Patrick would be able to
exploit it. No, that's exactly right. Yeah, for sure. He he knows, he's got a keen eye on that stuff, and he's done it long enough now to where he's got a good feel on where a guy needs to be and how to get him there. And so he does a nice job with all that.
Wendy, are there certain things that you try and layer in? I mean, you guys obviously have clinched the playoff spot at minimum, but are there certain things you try and layer in over the last couple weeks, last week, that you feel like you want to see in action before the postseason?
Yeah, I'd like to see all three phases playing well. I mean, that's we have one phase play well and another one that doesn't, or two of them play well and another one doesn't. So when you get to that point, I mean, you want that every game, but we're there now. So we're in the last two games of the season. So you got to start making sure you're reaching your A game there.
A couple more. What do you think has led to this late season surge for Jerick McKinnon, and how important has a player has he become for you here?
Yeah, he kind of did this same thing last year. I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. He knows, and he's had good people that could get in and play and spot him and so on. But I would tell you this, from a professional standpoint, he's phenomenal. His study habits, and then for your question, taking care of his body. He is meticulous about how he goes about that. And it's a great example to these young guys.
Can you talk about the mentorship portion of it? I talked to Isaiah after the game last week, and he said he's leaned on Jerick a little bit for, that mentorship and asking how to navigate through things. How much have you seen from him?
Yeah, he's willing to share. That's again, he's not threatened by the other guys. He's going to do what he does, and but he's willing to share those things. And they see him in the meetings. If he needs to use a foam roller, he's going to get down in Greg's office and work, whatever he needs to work, his hamstring, whatever, his eating habits. They see that. So, and he's willing to talk about it. He likes to talk.
Last two, we'll go Jesse and then
Andy, big picture, just where do you see Sky Moore and his rookie progression?
Yeah, I really like what I've seen here the last few weeks. He's gotten better every week, better understanding of the offense. We've seen some zone teams and kind of how to fit in the different holes as an inside receiver. He's getting better at that, and I like that. And then he's had a few of the jet sweep things, and he was stretching them out, where it would have been good in Canada, but not here, so now he's hitting that son of a gun up in there. So that's a good thing.
last one, Sam.
Andy would ask you this every year, but the one job is open now. I'm just wondering, over the course of this last year, as much as you want to see Eric get another job, I know his focus here is here
Sure.
right now, but have you studied to try and figure out maybe a different approach, something that helps him out? Just what's that process going on?
Yeah, so the league actually did that for the assistant, some of the assistant coaches that had potential opportunity to become head coaches. I thought they did a nice job of that this offseason, getting them together with the owners. And so to me, that was the difference, in more of a casual setting, as opposed to I got to hire this guy right now, get to know him. And I appreciated that. That was a I thought that was a good thing for Eric. You know, I know what he can do. I mean, I've said it 100 times, and I haven't changed my opinion on that. So I hope he gets an opportunity. Rather not have it at Denver, but I hope he gets an opportunity. All right.
You guys are facing the same team just a couple weeks after seeing, but a lot of things have happened there. Coach said he gave you guys a message to kind of be ready for anything. Just what are your thoughts about facing a team so quickly afterwards, but they've gone through all these changes?
Yeah, I mean, they put us tough this last one. I mean, they gave us everything that we could ask for. I mean, we have to go out there and play our best ball. I mean, if you look at the tape, you see the talent that they have and how hard they play. And so for us, it'll be a great opportunity to play a rival at Arrowhead and have to find a way to get a win.
They got you a couple of times with the interceptions. You haven't thrown one since then, right? What do you take from that game? And you've obviously made some adjustments, I guess. The coach said it's a great example, but fix your own stuff for the rest of the team. But going back and looking at the tape, it's something you probably don't anticipate.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of following my eyes, making some good plays on some balls that I was trying to throw in some tight windows. And so I've had to make sure to just take what's there and not try to force it. They got great players. Like I said, they got great players that make a lot of great plays. And so for me and for this team, we got to go out there and play our best ball, and we know we have to play our best ball if we want to win.
What has made Jarek such a reliable weapon for you here, especially late in the season?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job with his opportunities that he's been given. He's like the one this last week, I throw the ball in the flat. You're expecting to we have that touchdown, check down mentality, but when you throw it to a guy like that who can battle his way and get in the end zone, that's special ability. And so for him, he's playing good football at the right time of the year. And how can he carry that momentum into the playoffs?
How confident are you when he's in there, but not to cite the other guy, but when he's protecting you as far as throwing the football?
Yeah, I mean, he's just super smart. I think that's the biggest thing. Even the unscouted look, he's great at picking up that guy or passing off the guy to the right lineman and doing all that different type of stuff that just takes years of experience. And so having a guy like that can step in, know he's seen so much, so he knows every single rule of the protection and can go in there and make the block when it counts. I mean, it's a big time thing to have on the team.
I know earlier in the year you said that every time you felt like you threw to Noah, it was a good play. You've connected with him now, what seems to be 10 straight games, I believe. Just how does Noah fit into this offense and obviously playing off of Travis and giving you another option at the tight end position?
Yeah, I think you said it. I think first off, he's a guy that can come in whenever Trav's tired, and he can't play every play, especially at his age. So he can come in when Trav's tired and make some plays happen and still get himself open on some of those Trav type routes, and then being able to block the way he can. It puts teams in a bind where you have a guy that can block. And you can have two tight ends on the field, but he can also run routes like a receiver. So he'll continue to get more and more in this offense, and he's so comfortable in it. He's another weapon that we can have that can go out there and make it hard for defenses.
Patrick, this is inside the ball a little bit, but the 52-yard pass to Kelsey, he started in motion. You guys throw a lot to a guy that starts in motion. I know you get like a man zone ID sort of thing, but are there other benefits the receivers get or that you guys get from having a guy go in motion and throwing it in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest one's probably man zone IDs. It also gets guys usually cleaner releases, so they're not necessarily pressed the line of scrimmage, so the timing can be right. And I think sometimes you can use him as a decoy, and you can use that guy in motion to get the attention to him with all that he's moving behind the line of scrimmage and hit someone else. So I think Coach and Coach Reid and Coach Bieniemy have done a great job of that, of using that motion to our advantage in several different ways, and I'm sure we'll continue to do that as the season goes on.
The roster has turned over a lot since you got here. I wonder how do you approach that challenge of sort of adapting to what's new around you, which is like inevitable in the NFL, and also not losing what sort of makes you successful in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's the culture that we've built here. That started before I even got here with Coach Reid and the coaches that they had. I mean, they've built this culture of this is how we're going to work, this is how we're going to prepare, and this is how we're going to win. And so I just try to embrace that as much as possible, show the guys that are new how we do things, And I mean, like you said, NFL, there's a lot of new guys every single year. And obviously this year's been probably the biggest. But I think as you continue to add and add, if you can continue to build that culture, you can continue to go out there and win football games.
And you're here for a long time, and more changes are going to come, obviously. Like you said, this has been one of the bigger changes this year.
Mm.
Are there lessons you learned this year that you'll take forward, and this kind of keeps happening?
Yeah, I mean, it helped me grow as a quarterback, just having to get through the offense, the entire offense, knowing that we're going to move guys around. We're going to have playmakers everywhere. And you got to just continue to get through your reads, get to the right guy. I mean, I think I got in, some things the last year, especially where it was Tyreek or Travis, kind of looking back and forth to that. I think it's helped me become a better quarterback, having to move around and having so many different weapons everywhere that I have to just get through the read. So I think I'll continue to evolve. We'll have a lot of different guys in my tenure here. I'll be here for a long time. And one day I'll get here as long as Travis has been here.
Especially nowadays, how much are you involved maybe in some of these things in the offseason than maybe you were when you first became the starter back in 18?
I'm involved a little bit. It's usually like a thing where it's just, hey, we're talking to this guy. What do you think? And I'll look at the tape and kind of give my insight on stuff like that. But I try to stay away from making like decisions on people. I think that we have great guys and great positions, great coaches, and great personnel people that usually can do that. So I'll give my take on people, but they do a great job of bringing in a lot of great players.
It's been almost exactly 5 years since you made that first start. I'm just wondering what stands out about that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. First off, it was cold. It was really cold, and being from Texas, I don't think I was ready for that cold weather in Denver that day. But it was just a great experience to be out there and playing. I mean, it was, I think, more gratifying that all that work I put in, I felt so much more advanced than I did in the preseason before, just because of how much I'd been in the building and going through the process. And I think that kind of just gave me another stamp of approval. This is how you have to do things. And so I think that was the biggest thing, more than going out there and getting the win. It was all that work that you put in the entire year without playing had paid off.
So did it change much for you the next preseason, like training camp? Like, how much ahead were you that next training camp because you had played in just one game?
It was like I learned like a new language just through that next training camp. When I first got here in the preseason, that first year, I was so focused on getting us in the right position and getting the offense lined up and all that different type of stuff that I wasn't even worried about what the defense was doing. I was just trying to go out there and make sure we were doing stuff the right way. Whereas at the end of that last game and then into that next preseason, I was focused on what the defense was doing. I was so comfortable in the offense. I think that's where you take the biggest step in quarterback position.
To go back just a quick talk before, Patrick, did you give an input on Juju last year, even though it didn't work out in the free agency time period?
Yeah, I mean, when they said that we were interested in Juju, I mean, I knew him previously, so I knew that what type of guy he was and how hard he worked. But I definitely like the ability he has. I mean, I think you see it this year is he can do a lot of stuff that we utilize in this offense in a variety of ways. So I was definitely texting him like Coach Reid was, trying to get him to come here.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you.
Guys, fire away.
Reid, congrats on being selected to the Pro Bowl. What was your reaction when you were notified that you made it this year?
Yeah, thank you. It was a big honor. It really just kind of speaks on how well, the offensive linemen around me have been playing too. They made my job a lot easier this season. So it's very exciting. Hopefully, we're in Arizona instead of being in Vegas, but it's definitely a big accomplishment.
Does it make it a little bit more special that there are three of you to make the Pro Bowl this year, doing as a group?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the O-line's been playing great this year, man. Being around those guys, it's just been really fun getting to work with them all year and things like that. So, I'm very excited for, Joe and for Orlando. They've been, having a great year, so it's been awesome to see.
You mentioned playing great this year. it's kind of difficult not to notice some of the pancake blocks that go on the interior there. Are there any internal competition between you and the other starting offensive linemen for the most pancakes this year?
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to catch up to Trey right now, but it's been fun for sure, man. Just seeing things that happen with whether it's Trey, Joe, Orlando, Wiley, that makes me want to do even better. That makes me want to do the same thing. So I definitely think that kind of gets everybody to start playing better, more physical things like that. Because we all get excited about it.
I know Trey got you guys all the T-shirts last week. I mean, how much fun and camaraderie is there amongst all you guys?
Yeah, a ton. We have a great time. It's a super close group. The entire group's close, so we have a lot of fun. And yeah, getting those shirts was cool. It's a great shirt for sure. But yeah, getting those shirts was cool. And yeah, we have a lot of fun together.
When you look at where you guys were at this point last year, where do you feel like you improved at as far as individual and as a team?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're playing together as a whole unit a lot better. I think the chemistry's gotten a lot better since last year. I think everybody kind of knows what everybody else on the line's about. We kind of know exactly how other people are going to play. So I think we're just being able to build off that and kind of complement each other more and more. It's been really good to see so far. So
You guys have had a couple of really strong weeks, definitely when you look at the metrics and everything and protection. Against Denver, now you're playing them in a pretty short period of time. Is there an advantage to that to you guys to be able to kind of see, okay, let's see how come some of the kind of tweaks that we've made in the last couple of weeks since that game have kind of manifested?
Yeah, they're a very tough opponent. So they have a ton of good players on that defense. That defense is very good. So we know it's going to be a big challenge for us going into this game. And, for us, we pride ourselves in being able to win our one-on-one battles. So that's really what it boils down to. And, they have a great front seven, and it's going to be a big challenge for us. So we're excited about it, though.
The screen game's been working for you guys all year long, and that's a testament to the athleticism you guys have on the offensive line. For you as a lineman, where does that rank getting out there on the screen in terms of your favorite things to do?
Yeah, I think it's just really Coach Heck and Coach Reid have been, coaching it up very well for us. And so it's been very fun. They do a great job teaching us exactly what our landmarks are and things like that. So it's been really fun. And, seeing some of the plays that Trey's made on those screens and stuff like that, it's been really cool to see. But, yeah, it's been fun for sure.
Thanks, Reid.
Yep.
Thanks, Reid. All right, guys, we'll have Justin Reid.
What's up, guys?
Justin, you were saying after the game the other night, just that, in December, things ratchet up a little bit.
Mhm.
And things definitely get, faster and tougher in the playoffs. How do you feel and see these rookies, the young guys that you have in the secondary, as far as kind of realizing that and figuring out that, hey, it's going to get harder the next few weeks?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I'm just going to go ahead and say we don't have rookies anymore. You know what I mean? They've had enough experience. They've had enough games under their belt. They're first-year players still. But, that title rookie, we really want to throw that out the window because of the experience and, the snaps they have under their belt, the pelts they have on the wall, and also just to encourage them to take a little more ownership and leadership and continuing to grow and mature and be dominant. As December comes around, eventually January, eventually February, things are only going to get faster. There's no way to really prepare them for how the speed will change other than to continue to harp on how you can get better day in and day out and challenge yourself week in and week out to be execute on all the details. Mistakes are magnified in the playoffs. The speed of the game is a lot faster, but they're ready for it. You know what I mean? And the best way to have confidence going into the playoffs is to make sure that we finish out this week strong and the next week strong so that they doesn't feel like there's any weaknesses going into the playoff structure.
How beneficial was it for those young guys to take those lumps early on in the season, as far as like going against Diggs,
Yeah.
Devontae Adams? And those guys?
There's no better teacher than experience, and and since they've got to be on the same field as those guys, and give them the confidence to say, I belong here. I've lined up with the best of the best, and I've held my own. That type of confidence is going to come through for us when we need it to.
You mentioned holding your own. How do you think L'Jarius Sneed did traveling with DK Metcalf this past game?
Oh, phenomenal. L'Jarius is one of our most physical players in the secondary. And as well as DK is very physical player. So we knew that matchup was going to be one to have your popcorn ready for. LJ did a great job for it. And that's the type of guy that he is. And we're going to continue to lean on him if a situation like that arises again.
The Broncos didn't have Cortland Sutton the last time you faced him. You finally returned to action this past game. What type of dynamic does that add when you combine him with Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, I think that's a second twin tower, in their offensive system. They didn't have him the first time. Put a lot of onus on Jerry Jeudy to take it on his own. But since they have him back, I've played against Cortland. We're in the same draft class. Very big receiver, wide range, catching radius that it will have there. And, it allows them to give Russell Wilson another option there on the outside. So I think it will be good for their offense to have them both on the field. And I think it will be a good challenge for us to defend both of them.
Juan has had some good games the past few weeks, man. What do you think from him as his lineup next week?
Yeah, just consistency. You know what I mean? A lot of times in this game, plays come in bunches. And a lot of players in that secondary are really getting hot at the right time. It's great to have a hot season all year long, make plays along the way, but you really want to start catching fire at this time of year. Juan's doing a great job playing well. He's making plays on the ball. Really should have had 2 interceptions last week. He only got 1 on the board, but we know that was 2. And I'm excited to see him keep growing and keep putting his stamp on this franchise in the NFL.
Any thoughts on J.J. Watt retiring since your former teammate?
Yeah, man, it's nuts. It's nuts seeing it come around in circles. I actually hung out with him a little bit this offseason when I was training in Arizona. So I'm excited for him to go into the next chapter. The game will definitely miss players like him. Not only just an impactful guy, outspoken leadership, and the type of passion that he brought to the game, as well as the smack talking. I'm sure you guys have seen the clips. But also all the stuff that he did off the field, too, is just truly amazing. Raising over $40 million during Hurricane Harvey and all the good work that he's done there. The game is definitely going to miss him, but I have a feeling that he'll be all right in the next chapter with the type of charisma and the type of character that he has with whatever he does next.
What did you learn from him?
A lot of it was just not only just the leadership aspect of it, but also the attention to the in-week details, as far as he went hard in the weight room. Monday to Friday, he went hard. He got there early, stayed late. He knew plays in the secondary, being a defensive lineman. He knew some coverage things just because in the meetings, he paid attention to everything, soaked up a whole lot of knowledge. So that attention to detail and, being next to a future Hall of Famer, you get to pick up a little bit on that energy and that attitude. And, it's like, okay, I can see right in front of me what it takes to be a player that's that great, So I think that was beneficial for me to have him next to me for the first 3 years. And he's a good friend, so I'm happy for him with his next chapter.
Justin, you were talking about the younger guys earlier. Brian made a great play on 4th down against Seattle last week.
Huge.
How's Brian grown this year in your eyes?
Huge. A guy that's reliable, very cerebral, as I've always said. Always ready in the moment when he steps on the field. On that exact play, actually, we had 3 first-year players lined up side by side, all on that side of the field, 4th down situation. They came through for us and made a big-time stop to get us off the field. So I'm excited for Brian. Good tackler, cerebral guy. Really takes advantage of his opportunities when he does get on the field. Yep.